The first time it happened, Claire assumed she'd imagined it. She was in the kitchen at 10:30 on a Tuesday evening, pouring herself a glass of water, when the smart speaker on the counter said, "You should get some sleep." She hadn't asked it anything. She hadn't said a word. She lived alone. She told herself it was a glitch, some random audio fragment caught from the television in the next room. She reset the device, checked the settings, and went to bed. She didn't sleep well, but she told herself she was being ridiculous. The second time, she was in the bath. The bathroom light, on a motion sensor she'd set up months ago, flickered off, then on again. She was completely still. There was no reason for it to trigger. She told herself it was a faulty sensor. She ordered a replacement online that night. The replacement did the same thing 3 days later. The third time, she couldn't explain it away. She came home from work to find her living room thermostat set to 22 degrees. She always kept it at 19. She lived alone. She had been out since 7 in the morning. No one had a key, and yet the temperature had been changed at 2:47 p.m., according to the app. She called the smart home company. They said the change had been made locally, from inside the house. It was the building, she decided, old wiring, a crossed signal from a neighbor's system. There was always a rational explanation. She was a rational person. She started sleeping with the bedroom door locked. She started noticing other things. A glass moved from one side of the sink to the other. Her laptop closed when she was sure she'd left it open. A window in the spare room, the room she never used, was open one morning when she was certain she'd never touched it. She set up a camera, a small one, hidden behind a book on the living room shelf, pointing at the hallway. She told herself it was just to prove to herself that nothing was happening. She reviewed the footage 3 days later. At 3:11 a.m., a figure moved from the hallway toward the kitchen, opened the fridge, drank from a carton of orange juice, and returned in the direction it had come from. The figure moved like someone entirely comfortable in the space, like someone who had been there a long time. Claire called the police. 2 officers arrived within minutes. They searched the house. In the spare room, they found a hatch in the ceiling that Claire had never noticed. She'd assumed it was a structural panel painted over, sealed. It wasn't sealed. The attic space above had been occupied for at least 6 weeks. There was a sleeping bag, a phone charger, tinned food, a small battery pack, and from a gap in the floorboards directly above the living room, a clear sight line to the sofa where Claire spent every evening. He had been watching her. He had been living 11 feet above her head, listening to everything, adjusting her home around her, testing, perhaps, to see how much she would ignore. The man was found 2 days later at a property 30 miles away. He had lived in 3 other homes the same way. He had never once been detected until Claire pointed a camera at her own hallway and refused, finally, to explain it away. She still doesn't use the spare room.